What's up, Buttercup? I'm Pam Barnes, marketing expert,
And I'm Hannah Cox, business strategist,
and this is the Go Getter Gals podcast.
where everyday gals grow together and you'll find resources to help you grow personally and professionally.
Hey, everybody. So, my name is Pam Barnes, and I've got Miss Jazmin here. She is absolutely fabulous, and I cannot wait for her to share her story. And hopefully, it will help many of you, the listeners, grow. So, Miss Jazmin, can you tell everybody who you are and the business that you have?
Absolutely. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me. You are so wonderful, Pam, and you've done wonderful things here in Dothan. And I was very blessed to have met you.
Oh,
Um,
thank
so yeah. My name is Jasmine, obviously. And we have a wedding venue. I wouldn't even say wedding, it's an event venue out in Wicksburg. We started this in 2024. Um, and this came all about when me and my husband got married. We actually eloped. So we never had the traditional wedding, and we still wanted to celebrate with our loved ones. So my mother-in-law had came out with the idea of creating a small, not too small, but not too big venue, because everywhere around was either way too big or way too small. And it was always booked. I mean, they were booked for years out. So we thought we had the land. Why not do something out there? And that's
you.
what we've been doing for this past a little over a year. And it's been a real blessed journey, to say the least, but a lot of learning.
Oh, fun, fun, fun. So, here is a really fun question. Define yourself in 3 words. Who is Jasmine?
I would say I am a very creative person,
Mm.
supportive. I support anyone in what they want to do. I've supported my husband in everything, every decision he's ever wanted to do, um, and ambitious.
Okay. Okay. Now, let's go back to the wedding venue and your second word you said, supportive. Was this your husband's idea, the wedding venue, or did you guys kind of create that on your own?
So the idea was presented to us by his parents, and we
Cool.
both, yes, so we both had to think about that together. But
Mhm.
it seemed to be a very easy decision because we knew that, for one, he would be getting out of the military and we'd be able to be together more. We found out we were pregnant, so we always like to say that it was my father-in-law's lure to be closer to his grandson, because we were living in Columbus, Georgia at the
Mhm.
time when we started talking about this. Um, but I want to say it was a mutual decision, and we both agreed that it would be a great business for us.
Okay, okay, okay,
Mhm.
okay. Makes you wonder because I've been married for 17 years. And when you said supportive and you support your husband in every decision that he makes, I
Mhm.
definitely relate to that 100%.
Mhm.
My husband, now I'm like the big motivator, and I'm usually the one that comes up with the ideas and everything,
Mm.
what we want to do. But that
Yeah.
has changed. That has changed. My husband is the one that decided to join the military, and then I was like, "Okay, well, let's go." Um, and I'm gonna support you 100% behind that decision, but I just think that's interesting that you say that. Were you were there people in your life that taught you that that did a lot of support, and, like, do you have a big family that's very supportive and do that, or is it just part of your character that you've had since you were little?
Yes. I mean, I have a big family, so of course we're really big on supporting each other. But I want to say that came naturally when I met Hunter, and also because, and wanted to mention this, he is actually rejoining the military. He's applying right now
Oh,
to get back into the National Guard. So the fact
wow.
that we're going back into it after we've established the business, we're doing well, we've got employees, we're starting to really get a foundation down. Now we're really looking into, what do we want to do outside of this?
Mm,
So it really does, it just, I don't know. I want to say with our relationship, I've always wanted him to be happy as he has wanted me to be. So anything that I've ever wanted to do, he's never put a stop to it. He's, always pursued for me to, even when I was taking my real estate license for Texas and we knew we weren't going to live in Texas, but he said, go for it. We just never know what we will do or be in 5 years from now. So that's one of those things that I never wanted to um, take away from him, as he wouldn't
Mhm.
want it to be taken away from me. So I think it's a really great thing to have. And yeah, I think the supportive side of me, I think just comes from wanting a life together and working, for it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so let's talk about the creativity for a minute.
Hmm.
Having the business that you have now, how much has that grown and how much have you blossomed in the creativity, being able to help women create their perfect days?
Well, right with the word blossoming, I really wanted to create brides magical day. I want it to come, I want their vision to come to life. And so I started to realize a lot of brides were DIY girlies, and I love doing DIY. So I'm a huge DIY girl. I love to get stuff together and put it into what they want as their vision. And so a lot of the brides that were coming in and wanted to create, whether it was, florals or a back wall or just the ceremony land, what is it, like the ceremony staging,
Mhm.
I was able to, I've been able to create that moment for them. And I've started to get into event coordinating just to help the
Mhm.
process come out a lot, smoother, especially for those who don't have one or a wedding planner. And let me just say, it is a big job for wedding planners. They are angels. They do above and beyond. And I can just say they do a lot of work behind the scenes. Um, I haven't had the nerve to do that yet. I still feel like I'm learning a lot, but and as far as the event coordinating, I have really nailed that down, and I'm really starting to get more into that, especially with the florals. I want to create centerpieces. I want to create backdrops, just anything that a bride may have or want for her day.
Perfect. So here's a good question. As a business owner, and you've had the business for a year and a half now, right? Somewhere around there.
Yes.
How much has that changed you as a person? Like, it showed how you talked about how it's changed your marriage
Hmm.
and it's changed your creativity anyway, but let's talk about, like, how has this changed Jasmine to be the person that she is today from the person she was a year ago with the beginning stages of the talks of having a business?
Yeah. I want to say much more time management in a way. I've been very on top of that, especially because
Mhm.
with this business, you have to be punctual with your times, especially when it comes down to ceremonies, rehearsals, all of that. So for me, I've learned to manage with my timing so much better. I've prioritized, what I need to get done. And I have learned over a year, a lot happens in one day. And so you have to really plan out your, day, week, month. And we have this dry erase board where we have everything locked down from tours to orientations to the day ceremonies. But then on top of that, our personal stuff that we have going on. So, I mean, a lot of that I mean, I never thought that that would have to come into play, but that is a huge thing that I know has changed from myself from a year ago.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Yes, as weddings, you have to definitely be on time. You cannot be late.
No,
The bride
no, you
can
did.
be late, but no one else can
Yeah,
be late.
right. And that's still stressful.
I bet, I bet. So, With this whole journey, business, baby, moving to a whole community, let's focus on the mom part for a minute because many of the listeners are moms. What's the best part of being a mom?
Oh man, watching them grow up and I mean, seeing every milestone is so rewarding, and being able to teach them new things. That to me is just so rewarding. I love seeing life through his little eyes, and just a simple little roly poly on the ground, he will stop to analyze and look at it, and wants me and my husband to look at it. It's something so simple, but to him, he wants you to witness it. And I love that. It's so beautiful.
Oh, okay, okay. What is a mom win that you have experienced in the past 2 years? Because raising a toddler, we all know toddlers are difficult and babies
Oh,
are
yeah.
difficult.
Well, going from baby to toddler, huge mom win was when we went from crib to toddler bed. And
Mm,
let me just say, I was thinking that it was going to be, getting our door opened up every night, or crying and being able to just like come out of his crib, or now toddler bed. But it has been such a smooth transition. I feel like he just knows that it's bedtime, and you can go and lay him down. And as long as he has all his stuffies, his bottle, and you can tuck them right in and say your good nights, and you close the door and you go to your room, and that's it. Like that to me was just something. I told my mom this a few days ago. I was like, I never thought that I was gonna have a kid like that. And to me, that is such a mom win. I don't know what we even did for that. I think it was just from when he was in the crib stage and we wanted him to stay in the crib. We not to say we let him cry it out, but we did set our boundaries. We didn't want to do the co-sleeping, because that can go on for many, many years. And not that there's a problem with it. I love that. I would have wanted that, but I also know that he was never comfortable sleeping in the bed with us. He would just be tossing and turning and kind of kicking us, and I always knew that he never was comfortable, so he would prefer to be moved to his crib. And yeah, that was just a really smooth transition from baby to toddler in the sleeping aspect.
I love that. I love that. My daughter was like that. She would cry for her bed. We'd lay her down
Yeah.
and she'd be peaceful and happy. Like I'd
Oh
never thought
yeah.
that was a thing.
I
And my
know.
on the other hand, was not like that. He was a typical gym kid. He was always climbing on stuff. We had to make sure he could
Mhm.
not climb on anything. It was
Yeah.
great.
We love cuddles, so if he wants to cuddle with us, we'll accept it. But there's a point where he's like, "All right, I'm tired, guys. I'm gonna go to my room now."
That's cool. That's cool. Okay, so let's talk about again, this is the beginning years, new mom, first baby. So what is one thing that you're working on that presented as a challenge for you when it comes to motherhood?
Potty training.
Ooh.
That's what we're working on right now, and let me tell you, it is a challenge. It has been a challenge because he is just not wanting to even sit down on it, and the moment we just even mentioned the word potty, it's like, "No, no."
Um,
So,
mm,
it's that's challenging right there, and we're going through the books, we're getting videos, we're really just trying to see what works, but so far, we've been doing, the undies, and, just kinda keeping a as long as we're at home, he's in undies, and if we're out and about, he's in training diapers,
mhm.
but it's a working process. I know that eventually he'll get it, but we're not happy with the potty sitting on the toilet right now.
Well, it's boring, mom. There's so many other things he could be doing.
I know, I know. We're trying to make it fun though. We give him a book and he'll sit there and he'll be looking at his book. We'll be reading to him while he sits there, but nothing really happens. He just is like, okay, this is just like a chair. I'm just gonna sit here then. But
Mm.
that is definitely a challenge right now. But it's what we're working on.
You're not alone in this one. I had the hardest time with both my kids, and we tried everything. With my son, we even tried peeing on the tree because a friend of mine told me if you take him outside and have him pee on a tree, it works. Didn't
Yeah.
work.
No.
But we lived on, like, 15 acres when my son was potty training, so we were, like, at a dead end road of 15 acres, so it didn't really matter. Nobody was he wasn't gonna bother anybody, and nobody's gonna bother him, but at
Right.
the same time, it didn't work. We even tried
Oh.
the Cheerios, didn't work.
That yeah, there's all these different things that you can try, but, eventually they get it and they don't wanna be in the wet, undie all day. Luckily, we haven't had a poopy undie, so we're not waiting for that moment, but I think he's a very private baby, like, whenever he has to go, he kinda just goes off to a corner and is like, "Don't bother me," and now we're trying to figure out, like, how do we do that without bothering him while he goes to the restroom, so we'll
Mm,
get there. And I know that there's so many ways, and some babies get it right off the bat. And I know that my aunt down in South Texas, she's currently doing it, but she's also doing the no more bottle, the no more passy, the no, and now potty training all at once. And I'm like, that's a lot.
that is a lot.
That's a
That's a
lot.
lot for that
Yes.
baby too, like,
Hmm.
it's like, "Stop."
Yes. Just right after another, like we're stopping everything now.
Oh my goodness. Well, she is a trooper because there's
Oh
no
yeah.
way I would do that either.
No, I know, and she's a single mama, so she's really doing it all. So if you ever think you have it hard, someone out there has it harder.
That is the truth. That is the truth. Yes. And that's why this podcast is so important because most of us are moms and we've
Mhm,
dealt with several things. I mean, we were recording the video and my daughter was back there playing a game and it was really loud and it was distracting because I couldn't focus. And so, I mean, we're moms, like, and
mhm,
we're women in society. And we're going to
mhm,
transition to being a woman in society for a minute and just kind of talk about the women in your circle.
mhm.
What is a trait that you absolutely love about the women in your circle? Like, how have they helped you?
Hey gals, if you love what you're hearing and you want to get more involved, because trust me, I love Go Getter Gals. I'm obsessed with it. If you love this podcast as much as we do, all you have to do is go on our Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, and we're under Go Getter Gals. We are going to have all of our episodes on the podcast link on our website at go-gettergals.com. Thank you for allowing me to interrupt for just a second. We look forward to continuing to help you grow. Without further ado, here's the Go Getter Gals podcast.
I want to say their confidence because I've never had confidence in myself, and some of my closest friends I see just being so confident in themselves. And I mean, one of my friends is a performer. She sings, and so she has to get in front of 30,000 people, and she'll sing a national anthem. And I mean, me on the second hand, I'm like, I can't even record myself and post it or anything because I just cannot hear myself. Um, I just get discouraged with myself. So I think that's something I'm really learning a lot from them, and I want to take in from them because they always say, you need to do it. I'm sure you've also said it, just do it. You have to try. And I want to say that is something that is just so encouraging to do and see. And I'm very motivated to be able to see that and try to be create I'm sorry, confident, to be confident in myself. And yeah, that's that's what I think I really like to see in them.
That is really good. And I love that you shared that because there are so many women that I talk to in Go Getter Gals, and there's so many women just in my world alone, including myself when I started going to women's groups. And I talk about this all the time about my confidence level. Like I
Mhm,
had zero confidence in who I
mhm,
was and what I brought to the world, and watching myself on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. It was really difficult in the beginning. It was very
mhm.
difficult. But the fact of the matter is if again, like you said, if you don't try it, then you're not going to be able to continue doing. It's a muscle that you have to work.
Right.
And I love that you shared that because women, we need to hear that more. We need to hear that you're not alone in the self-confidence, situation because we're all kinda there. We're taught to we had a podcast me and Hannah talked about recently about how women were taught to, be quiet and, um, almost like professional little girls, like, especially
Mhm.
when you look into the pageant world and, pretty and together
Absolutely.
and quiet.
Absolutely. Yes.
And we're
So
not
true.
necessarily built that way.
Right. No, and I feel like someone can look from the outside and say that same thing that she must have it all, but there's always something behind the walls of, like, whether it's confidence, whether it's motivation, whatever it could be. um that is where I lack myself, I guess, the confidence in myself.
Mhm. Well, would you mind me asking, what do you think causes the lack of self-confidence in yourself?
I want to say past experiences, because I remember I loved being in front of the camera. I was a very I don't want to say like a model or anything, but I mean, I did photo shoots a lot. I did videos a lot. I loved making funny videos and pranking my parents. And this was when I was like in high school, when, technology's like picking up, and those Snapchats and stuff, that time. And I want to say from where I grew up and maybe past relationships that would either judge my content or, question, why are you doing it or for what? Is it something I'm trying to prove to someone, or just showing off what I'm doing? And I started to really, think about it. And in a sense, it started to really sit with me, like, who am I trying to show this off to? Am I trying to, just show off the lifestyle? Like, I mean, if I traveled anywhere, I would just be recording the whole time and posting it. And it was something of like, look where I'm at, look what I'm doing. But I feel like that triggered me to just stop all of that and enjoy just being in the moment. But yeah, I think that does just come from past relationships, or maybe questioning the why am I doing it? And there could be many reasons. And I still, till today, I still think, there could be a better reason for the why. Is, you're teaching someone, you're influencing someone. And I like to think about, my sister, and how I could be able to influence or teach to be, not to say a better mother, but, just things, hacks, like mom hacks, or, you know, outings or stuff like that. And also show the struggles, that it's not always, butterflies and rainbows and, happy stuff, because everybody wants to post that stuff. But if you were to be transparent with your audience and just show who you truly are and what you truly do, I'd love to see that. And I still think that that's what I would want to do. I think I'm also just afraid of the backlash, just being, told you're doing things wrong. And but again, no, there's no right or wrong. So it's one of those things that you're just kind of afraid of doing, and messing up.
Yes. I'm gonna say something that changed my life, when I moved to Dothan.
Okay.
Um, I don't even remember who I heard it from, but I heard it on, like, YouTube of some kind of podcast or anything. But anyways, w what you want is on the other side of what you're avoiding.
Okay.
Mm.
That is something I gotta really think about there.
I know, I know, I know. I'm just like, ooh. I think it
Wow.
was Jordan Peterson that said that, and he's a psychiatrist.
Wow.
I think it was him that said it. It may have been Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar. I listen to a lot of those, but yeah, it's definitely something to think about when you're talking yourself out of doing what you wanna do. You've gotta remind yourself, "What I want in life is on the other side of what I'm avoiding," and, oh, that's
That's so true. Oh my gosh. So on point.
Okay,
Wow.
okay. Well, here's a good one. Here's a really good question, and let's make it a little lighter. What keeps you motivated when things get tough? Because you were talking about how life is difficult.
Hmm. I've always had faith that there's always a better tomorrow. And I think whenever you lack motivation, or I lack motivation, better yet, it doesn't last forever. And I've
Mhm.
dealt with it. I've been through it, and you feel it. And then just going back to your faith of what you truly want for yourself, or what makes you happy, and what is it all for? I guess is what I like to say is, I guess, my motivation, because I know that there's something past that, not motivation feeling. Is like there's a bigger picture. And that's what I think I always try to remind myself and strive for. Is like, what do you want at the end of the day? What do you want? And it's, I mean, yeah, that day is, I've had many days where I'm not motivated. I do not want to get up. But, and you think about it, and there's so many women out there that are doing so much, and you have to just, get up and go, just do it.
Oh, I love that you shared that because that is one thing. Go Getter Gals has been that for me. I don't know if you
Yes.
met Sharonica Chambers. I think you did.
Yes, I
Like,
did.
she is a go-getter
Wonderful.
gal, and she was kicking some
Absolutely.
serious butt, and,
Abs
it was so funny because, I was down and out a little while ago because I got sick. I called her when I started feeling better, and I was like it so relates with what you just said about motivation because I called her and I said,
Mhm.
"Alright, lady, I'm about ready to run. Are you ready?"
Wow, I love her, yes.
Yeah. You've gotta have those women in your world that keep you
Hell yeah.
motivated and keep you grounded, but also
Mm,
challenge you at the same time. That's why I called her because
absolutely.
'cause I'm like, "Alright, you've been telling me for months I'm gonna get better and everything's gonna be fine. Alright, I'm better now. Let's run."
Yes. I love that. She is such a go-getter gal. Yes, absolutely.
She is, and you are too, lovely lady. Like, you kicked some serious butt last year. Now you have employees, like, wow. That's amazing.
Yes, thank you.
And so National Guard, you won't necessarily have to move, right? Like, you could stay here
No.
and he can possibly
Yes.
possibly deploy and
Yes. So, going back in, I want to say he might be saying something wrong, but might be going into officer or something. So
Oh,
he can, I mean, yeah. And another thing is, I think he's only doing it for like a weekend and a month. So
oh,
not full on. I can't really understand the language of military talk, but I do know that we won't have to move. We'll be here. And as long as, he's going out of town, I will be able to depend on my staff to, help out run the business. And because on top of that, I mean, we were doing this by ourselves since we opened, and it had been a lot, especially if my husband was out of town. I really had to depend on my in-laws to watch Liam, and then I would have to go and fill in everything at the venue. But now with four girls at the venue, I mean, they are just so helpful and will be taking on our roles
that is amazing. See, and you did that in less or around a year,
around
right?
a year. Yes.
You did that in around that's amazing. That's
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're very excited about that. That has just been such a really great change for us.
Mhm, mhm. So those listening, I want you to really take from that and see, she talked about how the confidence level and, doing something new, but stood beside her husband and decided to go ahead and do it, move to a new community, build this brand new building and do all of this. And within a year, she's got 4 employees. So
Yes,
like
ma'am.
that right there, like, there is nothing you can't do. There's absolutely nothing you can't do. You just have to decide to do it and push forward.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, and also come to terms that not everything happens overnight. I mean, that is
Ooh.
something so humbling to know, is that you want to advance so much in any business or aspect in your life, whether it's working out or, even just going through a hair treatment, whatever it is, it doesn't happen overnight. And so I think that was something really humbling for us to know that we had to wait for that moment to be able to hire employees and be able to trust in them and supply them with everything that we've learned. And I mean, we're still learning today. So there's still so much on that part of the business.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that, I love that, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. So
Sure.
here is a really fun question. I love this one because I always talk to my younger self in a way. And not and what I mean by that is whenever I've achieved something that I always thought was impossible, or I felt I wasn't good enough to do, or I wanted to do, but I didn't know how I was gonna do it, I
Hmm.
would always kinda like, what's her name? Mel Robbins talks about it a lot, where she, like, high fives herself in the mirror. Well, I kinda, like, go to my younger self, and I'm like, "Look, we did it."
Yes.
Like, "Look at this." So the
Yes.
question is, what's one thing you started doing that your younger self would be proud of?
Um, Focusing on myself, that is something that I don't think younger self did a lot. I think it comes back to the whole supportive thing, doing it for, someone outside of myself. But I want to say, looking back, I want to say I've taken a lot of time to focus on myself and what do I truly want for myself. If it's not, something's not making me happy, I have to change it. I have to work on it. And being able to work on something that I wasn't happy with had been a challenge for me, because it's so easy to just throw the towel and be like, all right, like I'm not gonna even try, I'm done. But now it's like we have to do this for yourself. Like it's only yourself, so that you have to do it for. And that is one of the biggest things that I had to come to terms with, is like there's no one else you're doing this for. It's for yourself. So whether it's for being a better wife, being a better mother, being a better daughter, whatever it is, work on that and also take your time for yourself and do it for who you are.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
I
I don't think I did that. So, yeah.
I think many women are gonna relate to that because as women, I said this before, and you related with it, that we tend to put other people above ourselves. And we tend to
Yes.
take care of, right? We have friendship
Yes.
groups and we always have that friend that takes care of everybody. And I have a feeling that was
Yes.
probably you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And there are times in our lives where we don't necessarily take care of ourselves because we're taking care of
Exactly.
everyone else. And I love that
Exactly.
that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Well, we have hit the end of our podcast, and I'm going to ask one last question because this is
Okay.
a question we ask every single woman that comes to this podcast because
Mhm.
legacy is a big thing. And I would like to know, and the listeners would like to know, Miss Jasmine, what does legacy mean to you?
I like this question.
Mhm.
Um, it's a moment in your life that makes such an impact in others in a positive way. And I would want to say you have made a legacy because you have done so much to impact a lot of women. And so that will stay with us forever. And that's what I would say is a legacy. You create something in your time of life that others would relate to or be impacted by and take with them for as long as they live.
That is beautiful. Thank you. That was such a
Absolutely.
good compliment.
I
Um,
mean, it is what I love that question. And I just think of you and I think of all the things that you've done. And yeah, I think that's one thing that if anyone can do in their life is do something that would impact others.
well, here is one little caveat question I'm gonna add to it. What would you define as your legacy? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So hi, Bugaboo. Hi, come here. Come here. You want to come say hi? Yes. Here's my baby. Look who's Dizzy. No, 1 second. Hey. Well, if I could say what's my legacy, um,
Mhm.
gosh, I don't know. I'd say at that point, yeah, but just being able to run a business with a baby, I guess, is one thing that I would hope people can see that it is possible to do. And, times can get tough. And, it's one of those things we all go through. And yeah, just just keep doing what you truly want to do. And I want to say that I have made an impact in some brides with their day, whether it was through coordinating, or even having my little one there and seeing them what having them see him in tours, and they're just like, "How are you doing this?" But
Mhm.
this is how it goes.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being a guest. I'm so glad I know you. My life has definitely been
It's
positively impacted by you and your whole family. Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you so much, Pam. You are wonderful and have done wonderful things here. And I'm so blessed to have been on this show, on this podcast.
absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, when we go online, I'll let you know.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye.
Hey, look, can
Bye.
you say bye bye? Bye bye. Bye.
Yeah. So cute. So cute.
Thank you.
Hey, gals. Thank you for listening to the Go Getter Gal podcast. All of the information for this episode can be found in the show notes. Make sure that you go and like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram, as well as subscribe to us on YouTube. And to find the latest episodes of the Go Getter Gal podcast, you can visit our website at go-gettergals.com. See you next time.